doing this for. There you go. I just like it gets me every time. Ah, let's take a breath. Welcome, welcome, lovelies. It is glorious to have. Oh, look at that. 33 of us online. Of course, a little magical number. And so many more of you that I know are planning to watch this on record later and in your own time. So I'm going to invite you just by way of landing here before we even begin, just to place your feet on the floor. Place a hand somewhere on your body, maybe on your heart or your belly. Closing down your eyes if that feels good for you, just for a moment. Just being able to come into your inner world. Right now, there's nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. There's just you and us and this beautiful space that we've connected in together this afternoon or this morning, depending where you are in the world. And as you come to your breath, just see where it's settling in your body. You don't have to change it in any way. Just become really aware of where your breath is entering your body and where it leaves. And your breath is a beautiful indicator of how you're truly feeling. Check in with whether your breath is high in your chest and quite shallow, or whether you're able to breathe a little bit more deeply. Just get curious. And an invitation, if it feels good, to take a deeper breath in. Maybe make it the biggest breath you've taken all day. And when you get to the top, just pause for a moment, holding your breath. And then as you release it with the biggest sigh. Ah, maybe there's a yawn. Just let your breath out fully and then just pause with an empty breath. And then just letting your breath follow a pattern. Beautiful in-breath, beautiful out-breath. Nothing to do here, nothing to fix. Nothing to be other than exactly as you are. And the invitation to see your heart space a little bit like an octopus with all its legs out in the world. These legs are all of the parts of you that are still outside of you, that are looking and searching and out wondering what's for tea and if the kids are okay and what you have to do later and all those things that take your energy. And just see if you can draw every single one back in. So that just for this moment, you can completely feel where you start and end, and the rest of the world starts and ends. And you don't need to do anything more. And be really present with yourself just for a moment. And every time your mind wants to wander off and take you somewhere else, just come back to your breath. You deserve this moment of peace for yourself. And in this moment of peace, just allow a word to bubble up. A word that anchors you fully in this moment. Don't think it into being. It might make no sense. Just see if a word pops up and helps you to anchor and alchemize how you're truly feeling, how your body feels, your spirit, your mind, your soul, your heart, your emotions. Alchemizing all of that into one word that anchors you in this present moment. Deepening that breath one more time. And as you come back to this space with a yawn and a stretch, or maybe there's a wiggle of your fingers and your toe, I'm just going to close my window because I had it open and they have come back with the dogs. And of course, they're out the back. Gonna make some noise, even though I think I'm away from them all. Beautiful. And the sun, I have the sunset coming around and it's beautiful. So pop a word in the chat if a word bubbled up for you, just by way of kind of coming back into connection with yourself, calm, emerging, appreciation. Love it. Hopeful, connected, sweet. Take a moment to have a look through everybody's words that are arriving there. Sadness, bless you, Jackie. Sending you some love. Yeah, discombobulated. That's the best word on the planet. Octopus. Great, love it. You'll never forget that. Every time now, right? Like it gets used a lot. I don't know why that's the only word. That's the only way I can describe it. When you see your heart like with all its legs out in the world, just reminds me of an octopus. It's all I can, the only way I can put it. Grief, bless you, Neela. All right, so I'm going to invite you, if you have a candle there, to light it now. And if not, just simply imagine that flame within you. It's not a fire of urgency. This is the flame of remembering, the small, steady light that returns when winter has done its work. Imbolc doesn't shout, she whispers. She whispers. So today we're gathering at Imbolc, and this is a threshold. I just looked at my phone up there. It's 1616. Having all these magic moments. And this threshold, Imbolc, is not spring and it's not winter either. It's the place between, when something really stirs, when the earth begins to shift, where the light quietly returns. And Imbolc doesn't announce itself loudly. It arrives as a feeling, as a soft yes, and a kind of subtle remembering. And so it's important to remember that although we're marking Imbolc on this day, the 1st of February, Imbolc doesn't belong to a Gregorian calendar. Imbolc happens when you really feel it, when your body senses the turn, when your inner world begins to respond. Some of you may feel a shift and feel energized. Some may feel tender. Some may still feel deep in the dark. Yesterday, there was absolutely no way. I even recorded a video about it. There was no way I was going to Glastonbury today. I had no desire whatsoever to leave my house or go anywhere. And then I woke up this morning and went, I'm going to Glastonbury in the pouring rain, or may I add. And it was glorious. And I bumped into loads of friends, some people I know, and it was really lovely. And it was just what I needed. But yesterday, nowhere I was going. And so this is the invitation of Imbolc. The other thing that I noticed driving across the plains, like from our house to Glastonbury, you go across the plains and it's like water. It's like waterlogged everywhere, as it always is. There's swans swimming in fields, you know. But there were so many lambs already. I had to kind of, I was a bit like, am I just dreaming? Is that a bit early? Maybe, I don't know, but there's a thing. Any farmers out there, tell me, am I bonkers? I don't ever recall many moons ago lambs being born quite this early. But that's Imbolc. So some places will tell you that Imbolc is on the 3rd this year, because astrologically it shifts on the 3rd. So the reason I'm sharing that with you is I really want you to begin to listen to your body. Just because somebody on Instagram told you when Imbolc was, like, including me, like, listen to your body, listen to where it begins to truly arrive. And Imbolc arrives under this sign of Aquarius, you know, the waters of vision and truth and collective remembering. And Aquarius really asks us to listen, not just with our minds, but with our deeper knowing. And then bring in the moon, right? At the same time, we're on a full moon in Leo. Where are my Leos? I mean, as if you needed to guess what star sign I am, right? We're held by this full moon in Leo, full of fire and heart and courage and expression. And so we're in water and fire, feeling and flame, vision and embodiment. And that's powerful alchemy, one that asks us to shed what no longer belongs and gently move toward what wants to be born. And let's then just bring in the fact that we're in this final shedding. Anyone else feeling it? Pop a little kind of thumbs up in the chat or a little like anyone else feeling it? And again, those of you that have been moving through the sanctuary with me for a while, you're in this place where you are beginning to really feel in your body what's moving. And this is the encouragement always, always. This is why I do what I do. It's like come back to yourself. So we're almost in this final shedding. It's like the last layers are falling away as we prepare to finally shed the year of the snake in towards the year of the fire horse. And some of us, like again, like depending on where you are, it's like you'll be feeling this sudden beginning of kind of an energy, but we're not quite sure. The problem is with the fire horse, it doesn't tolerate falsehood. Like she moves from truth and instinct and momentum. And it's not about forcing change, but it's about really releasing what cannot come with us. Like if you've got any pockets in your home of stuff that's just piled up that needs to go, like you got 2 weeks. I'm telling you now, get your shit clear. I just watched Layla put her hands over. I'm like, I know, mate. Seriously, like we moved house 5 months ago, and I keep going, oh damn it, there's still a pocket of shit there because I haven't looked at it in 5 months. I probably don't need it, right? There'll be something. There'll be something in that one box. Anyway, so I really encourage you because our inner world, our inner influence in ourselves, but also our environment begins to really form what happens in our outer world. So now's the time. Now's the time. And if things have been leaving your life, ways of being, relationships, identities, this isn't failure, it's alignment. And I'm going to say, caveat that slightly, because I know there are some of us moving through some real relationship stuff, especially in the sanctuary. It doesn't mean you have to end it all by the 17th of February. Don't panic. Okay. But it does say that if it's not working, deal with it now. Find your way to come to peace with your relationships, whether that's a relationship with a partner, whether that's a relationship with your career, whether it's a relationship with your family, your children, your dog, like whoever you're in that relationship with, like now is the time. And just stop holding on to the identity of who you've been. Because actually, if we keep holding on to the identity of who we've been, nothing ever changes. Nothing ever changes. And you don't necessarily need to know where you're going either. Like, it's not like, okay, I need to, like, I'm going to be this person and I'm going to head this way. And if any of you are really into manifestation, that sounds like I'm talking complete gobbledygook because it's like, if you talk about manifestation, you've got to get clear and you've got to know where you're going. But you can manifest any moment of any time because it comes from within you. So it's how you come back to yourself. And I just want to kind of name this, right? Because my husband last night, it was really funny. We've had lots of new people join the sanctuary, which is amazing. And he was like, like, tell me about those women. Are they really witchy women? Are they spiritual women? Are they like, I just want to say this really clearly. You don't need to be a witch to feel this, right? Like I can claim that I'm a witch. Like that's my heritage, that's my background, that's where I come from. But it isn't about labels or rituals or traditions that you have to earn. As a woman, womb man, right? I don't have a womb in anymore. Mine got lifted about 10 years. In fact, 10 years ago, almost to the day. But we carry this wisdom in our bodies. So this is as simply as put, is a return, right? It's a return to you listening. It's a return to you sensing. It's a return to trusting ourselves. You know, those moments where you get goosebumps, right? Where you're like, someone says something and you're like, I now call them truth bumps. right? It's that moment because it's deeper than goosebumps. It's not just like a weird, like goosebumps for me are if like someone gives me the shivers in the EBGBs. Like truth bumps are like that moment that you really connect in with what's moving you. And it's intrinsic. It lives in your bones, in your nervous system, and it lives in your cycles. But we've been really forced into a linear patriarchal society that says it's not okay to be that way. And that's what we're returning to. And Imbolc isn't asking you to become someone new. She's just asking you to remember who you've always been underneath all of this. So right now we begin right there. Pop a little kind of pop a one in the chat if this makes complete sense. Pop a two in the chat if you think I'm talking complete bonkers. And pop a three in the chat if you're like, I'm not quite there yet. Let's have a look. Loads of ones. One. Yes, of course. Otherwise, you wouldn't probably be here. Pop a W in the three. I hear you, Claire. Pop a W in the chat if you would ever be prepared to call yourself a witch. Yay! Amazing. So I can answer that question when he says to me, "What are you all?" I'll be like, "We're all witches." You know, we have to start reclaiming it, and it doesn't mean that we reclaim it from an empty place. It means we reclaim it because we're really feeling something shift in us. And this world, even the Dalai Lama said this, this world that we live in will be changed by Western women. That's it. End of. We can't change this world from something outside of us. We're only going to change this world from something inside of us. And that means we awaken to who the fuck we are. That's it. Said it. That's what we have to awaken to. We have to. We have to. There's no choice. There's no choice because we live in the frequency of ourselves, right? So if we want the world to be different outside of ourselves, it stands to reason that we have to shift ourselves. We have to shift our frequency. If we all want to walk around with these magical auras, bumping into each other's other magical auras, like, then we have to make a start. And we have to not get rattled ever. Now that doesn't mean you don't get angry. It doesn't mean you don't rage. It doesn't mean you don't cry. It doesn't mean that you don't have a complete hissy fit. I have them regularly. I'm allowed 50-year-old tantrums. It's perfectly allowed. I wasn't allowed them when I was two because I used to get told to pull myself together. You're embarrassing, you know? So I can have them at 50 and I have them regularly. So let's just come back to Imbolc for a moment. If this is your first time in a ceremony with me and it looks completely different to what you thought it was, you'll get to know that I can, my ADHD brain takes me off on tangents. But I used to talk about, rambling. It's not rambles. This is my wisdom. And if you're here, then something resonates. Otherwise, you wouldn't be. So let's speak to Brídhe. You might have heard her as Brídhe, Brigid. She's the fire bringer, right? And we're really stepping in. This isn't just about mythology. Brídhe's a presence. She's deeply woven and she's the maiden, the midwife, the poet, the healer, the firebringer. She's the one who blesses the milk, tends the hearth, and protects those fragile beginnings. She doesn't rush the land into bloom. She just tends what is becoming. So now is the time to kind of call Brídhe in, to carry her with you, to share that. And let's not miss Cailleach. The Cailleach is the wisdom of what remains. Look at today's weather, right? I don't know if any of you know that old kind of wisdom. The old wisdom says that on Imbolc, if Cailleach has good weather, that's not a good sign. Because if the weather is good, it means that she's going out to collect more firewood and winter will stay longer. So I literally stood at the Chalice Well today with it absolutely blowing a hurley and pissing down, and we were all like, yes, that means winter's nearly over because she can't go out and collect her firewood when it's raining. It's snowing here, bless you, pouring down all day. Yeah, exactly. It's quite nice out there now, but that's all right. I'm okay with it because it's sunset. So these are the old stories, but they carry through. And, it's important to kind of connect with what is your ancestry, wherever you are. What's the ancestry of your land? We struggle here in the UK, which is absolutely crazy because we have absolute deep old ancestry. We don't really know it. Most of us have never been connected to it because we went to school and we were connected with the church, and that's it. So it's important to go and find out, what is your ancestry of your land? What are the songs of your land? What herbs, what grows native in your land? You know? And so all of this tells us, like, actually, it's okay to be wherever you are. Nothing has gone wrong. If you still feel tired, like winter hasn't failed you, it's prepared you, not ready to go out yet. And that's okay. So I really want you to understand that. And the other thing I want to bring to you today is like, I was reminded today in Glastonbury at the Chalice Well Head, sitting in their midday meditation, that there's something ancient about pausing at midday. My old business partner was a guy called Sunbird. Some of you have heard this story over millennia. He passed away 10 years ago. Went and yeah, it doesn't really matter what he did, but he basically died suddenly in a road traffic accident. But he is an amazing dragon energy, and I still have deep connection with him. He had started something called the Sacred Pause around at midday. And so he used to set a 2-minute alarm on his phone at midday, and it used to go off. It didn't matter where we were. I could be in meetings with millionaires and his phone would go off and he'd just like, stop. And then he'd wait until his alarm went back off and he'd be like, okay, we can go again now. And I really, really encourage you, if you've never tried it, just to take a moment. It's like when the sun stands still, when the world exhales. And can you imagine if we were all doing that at the same time? Can you imagine if the whole world, right? And I know the world's going to happen at different times, but that's great because that means it happens loads of times through the day where all of us just stop for a minute and tune in with our heart frequency. Can you imagine the change on Earth if that was happening? So I want to gently encourage you just to try it. Just to try it. So we're going to dive into a little meditation. Pause for peace. There you go. That's what it was called. Thanks, love. She remembers. It's been a long time. I've got a whole flipping, we've got a group and all sorts that he set up years ago. Anyway, I'm going to invite you just to take a big stretch before we do anything else, because that will help you to move your body. You've been listening to me rabbit on for 15 minutes. And we're going to settle in to a little meditation. So I'm going to encourage you just to find your sweet spot. If you want to lie down, but try not to fall asleep, because I'm going to invite you into something that's going to really support how you move on from this moment in time. So see if you can just make sure that you're still connected to my voice. But find a way to be really comfortable with yourself. If it helps you to turn your camera off if you need to, that's fine, but it's great to still have your camera on and just stay connected to the space. Take a moment just to settle into your body. Just feel where you're sitting. Feel the weight of yourself being held, and let the ground take some of the effort for you. The beautiful joy of where we are is that wherever you are, however you are connected, the world, the earth, the mother is somewhere beneath us. And that means we can always stay connected. There's nothing to achieve here, nothing to fix, nothing to work out. So just arrive. Begin to notice your breath, not changing it, just noticing it. The inhale and the exhale. Allowing your shoulders to soften, your jaw to unclench, your belly to relax. And if your mind wanders, that's okay. Gently bring your attention back to the rhythm of your breathing. Now bring your awareness to the center of your chest, the space behind your heart. Imagine or simply sense a small, gentle light there. Not bright, not blazing, just present. This is not a light you need to create. It's a light that has always been there. With every breath in, feel this light warming slightly. And with every breath out, feel your body soften around it. This light does not rush, it does not push, it does not demand, it simply is. And if you've been carrying heaviness, tiredness, fatigue, or a sense of waiting, let this light touch those places now. Not to remove them, but to warm them like the first hint of warmth after a long winter. Now imagine this light slowly spreading from your chest into your shoulders, down your arms, into your hands, into your belly, your hips, your womb space, or the center of your creation. Let it travel at its own pace. There is no hurry. If there are places in your body that feel tight, numb, or distant, just notice them. You don't need to change anything. The light knows exactly where to go. Now imagine this light beginning to glow just a little brighter. Not intense, not overwhelming, just enough to be felt. And this is the returning light of Imbolc, the light that comes not when winter ends, but when winter just begins to loosen its grip. Here you might sense a feeling, an image, a memory, or nothing at all. Whatever arises is welcome. Let yourself rest here for a few breaths. Breathing in the light returning and breathing out, releasing the weight of the dark. If it feels right, silently ask yourself, what is beginning to stir in me? What is quietly returning? You don't need to search for an answer, just simply listen. And now imagine the light extending beyond your body, connecting you to the earth beneath you. Feel the steady presence of the land, the deep wisdom of winter soil, the quiet knowing of roots and seeds. You're not separate from this cycle. And now imagine the light also extending upward, connecting to the sky, to the returning sun, to the wild, wider field of life. And you are held between earth and sky. Take a moment to feel gratitude for your body, for your breath, for the wisdom that lives within you. Even if things feel unclear, even if you don't know yet what comes next, begin to gently bring your awareness to what you're feeling in your body. Your wisdom knows. From this space, I invite you to take a moment to ask any other questions that you need an answer to right now. Anything that you're pondering, anything that is a question for you. And just listen. Listen to the answer that arises in your body. And you begin to gently come back to your breath, beginning to gently bring your awareness back in. Take your time. Take your time. Feel your feet and your hands. And the seat, the surface that you're sitting on, supporting you. Wiggle your fingers if you need to, and your toes. Take it slowly. Take it slowly. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, you can open your eyes and just remember that this light lives within you. It doesn't leave just because our meditation ends. It walks with you into what's becoming next. So before you let the world in, I'm going to invite you to come straight to a little moment of journaling. If this isn't something you've done before, you can either just sit quietly and ponder these prompts, or I encourage you just to grab some paper or your journal and a pen and just connect in with these liminal questions of this moment. I also just have to show you, for those of you that are seeing this on the screen, this is how my office looks this time of day. Can you see? It's just like the most amazing moment of the light, and it literally lights up this whole wall behind me. If I can turn this all the way around. Let me just turn it all the way around so you get to see like it literally, and it doesn't matter what the weather's doing outside. It just lights everything up. It's like my favorite time in here. So with that light, yay, lots of loves. I'll pop these prompts in the chat as well, but where do you feel the light really beginning to stir in you right now? Or there may be a starting point of what came up for you in your meditation. What questions did you have? What are you pondering? You know, what is tender and fragile or newly alive? What is it that's starting to just gently move through you? And what still needs the quiet of winter? What's not quite ready yet? What's not quite ready to come out? And that might just be you. You might just not be ready yet. Let me just pop these into the chat. And I'm just going to pop off my audio for a moment as well while I do the same. And I'm just going to encourage you to kind of write without editing. You know, this is not for sharing. This is just your truth. It's your way of really beginning to listen to what's stirring underneath the surface. And we're going to journal for about 4 minutes together. I'm going to encourage you as you begin to bring your journaling to a close to just listen to spirit for a moment. Whatever you call it, spirit, guides, angels, whatever word or energy moves you to know the sense and feeling of what's outside of you. Just move your pen across the page, invite them to share anything with you in this moment. Again, it might make no sense. Just see what comes up. Sometimes it's not even it doesn't even look like your own handwriting. Just trust it. Trust the words that come. Beautiful. And as you bring your writing to a close, you may go back to it in a little while, see what moves you, maybe just enough. And I want to share with you, like I just shared with you what the wet light was like. This is what I love. It's gone. It's almost just past. The light's gone in my office. It's that reminder of like the light can sometimes just be that moment in time. So before we kind of close this part of our kind of ceremony, if you have your glass of water, I want you to connect with it for a moment. If you don't have a glass of water with you, just know that you can come back to this. Just be with this moment, or you can even just visualize this as well. And this is something you can do regularly in your life. It's a really beautiful practice. So bring it to your hands, just hold it for a moment. Water's not passive. Water listens. It carries all of this beautiful frequency and energy. There's so much online you can find out about this. And our bodies are obviously mostly water, and we're made of rivers and tides of memory and movement. And when we speak to water, it's like we're speaking to ourselves, but we're putting our frequency into the water. So you've just spent some time in your journal, you've just spent some time in what's moving you. This is a moment right now to change the frequency of this water. And we change it by speaking our own prayer into the water. Not loudly, not perfectly, it might just be a whisper. Or you may find that you want to speak it out loud. Your thoughts are actions and things. So just take a moment, and as you share your prayer, remember that the water is receiving it. Its frequency changes, and so does ours. This isn't a metaphor, it's the relationship that you have with water. So we're going to pause for a moment just while you really take this time to charge up this water with your prayer. Prayer may be what you're calling in, what's happening for you, what you're wanting to call in for the world, for yourself, for each other. And then I really encourage you just to connect with your heart space. You might want to close your eyes and just really feel that frequency of love energy. And just feel it travel from your heart down your arms, into your hands, into the glass. Really bringing that love frequency to this water. And then when you're ready, you're going to take a sip of the water. Let it pass your lips, let it move through your body. And your prayer now travels with it. Through your blood, your cells, your breath, your whole frequency is shifting. And I encourage you just to save some of your water, and later today You invite you just to take the remaining water out and give it back to the earth, to a plant, to the soil, to the land that holds you, so that you are taking your prayer and your love frequency back to the earth. And your prayer doesn't end with you, it becomes part of this wider web that we weave together. So, what a beautiful afternoon. Thank you for being here and being present. I'm going to encourage as many of you as possible to stay with me for a few more moments. We have an opportunity to just dive into some breakout rooms now. This isn't going to be very long, and you don't have to share your innermost, deepest thoughts and feelings. But we're here in community to connect with each other. And there is something really powerful when you just take a moment to be together. And if that's not possible for you today, don't jump off just yet. Usually what I watch is the numbers go down really quickly as everybody legs it. Just stay. We haven't quite finished this bit yet. So may your prayer be carried gently, and may the light continue to return. And may what is becoming be protected, just as it begins to arrive slowly. Thank you for sharing this space, for tending the waters within you and beyond you. And I really encourage you just to come back to your breath for a moment, just by way of closing our main circle space. Coming back to your breath, connecting back into yourself, to your heart. And just encouraging you with a few beautiful breaths, just to allow a word to bubble up to meet you, just as we did to begin with. And let that word be your anchor word, your point that says, okay, this is where I'm at now. As we bring this moment to a close, notice what's shifted in you. Notice how you're feeling in your body, in your emotions, in your heart space. Or maybe as you go back with a breath and a yawn. Yawning isn't rude. It's the fastest way for you to shift your energy. You're already there. Look, popping your words into the chat. That's beautiful. Safe and synergy and held. Certain. And if any of you here are not yet in the sanctuary, and just really to connect with the sanctuary as a space for you to be in community with each other. Maybe those of you that are here that are in the sanctuary, just pop a few words into the chat. What does it mean to you to be in the sanctuary? You know, we're closing the doors on our founding members today, and I can't even speak to it without getting quite emotional, because I knew what I was calling in when I called it in. I knew where I was heading with it. I knew that the sanctuary needed to exist. And it exists because healing doesn't happen on its own. If it happened on its own, we would all be fucking awesome and great, and we'd have done it all, because we'd have done the self-work and we'd have done it all. And so the sanctuary was this shared vision of like women gathering regularly, having a place to lean into where there was a rhythm and ritual and listening and that real return back to the village. And remembering that, you know, you have a worth through relationship. And so the doors are closing. They're not closing forever. They're only closing for the next 6 weeks. They'll be open in spring equinox. But it's like every good space, it just needs space to breathe. But also, I'm about to take these women on the journey of their life over the next 6 weeks. We are moving into that place of the becoming. What is it when you absolutely 100% step from that place into a space where you trust yourself so intrinsically that nothing's ever going to wobble you off? That for me is this next port of call. And it's a real place of devotion, and it's a real place of coming back into your body. Social media is great, but there's nothing social about it right now. It's just full of media. And so actually, this is, for me, creating the sanctuary was really a hope for me to bring more women off of social media. Even in our free Facebook community, it's just a minefield, mostly because it doesn't even get seen. It's crazy. But the sanctuary really is that place where you can lean in, and there's no rush. You don't ever feel like you've missed something, or it's not like I've got to show up all the time. Like, you lean into it when you're ready. I'm loving some of the comments. I'm trying not to read them because I'll just get all emotional. Um, but anyway, those of you that need more, read. Feel free to read. So, and if you want more information about that, just drop me a message. That we will close the doors on that probably tomorrow, because I know that with time differences, there's some more ladies that are wanting to join us. So I'm going to pop off the recording, but I really encourage you to stay here. We're going to be 5 more minutes, that's all. And there's some real magic in the next space that I'm going to create for you. So thank you for watching this on record, on replay, for connecting in with us. I'll see you soon.